Hello, guys. We are recording now, and we're having this conversation so that we can learn a little bit more about the best practices, about what could have gone wrong, what we did different than anybody else, and how the overall process went for the Expo 2020 event that happened last week. So I have here with me three of the key people that worked on the project. But I think this is not the right environment to talk about it. Ahmed, can you do something better for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's much better. So let's start with the first question that is best to address now is who is who and what did you do on the project?
Start with Nagar.
Okay. So first, what we did, well, we had a lot of things to do in this project, and we started with making a design for a stage that would fit for Expo 2020, and it was a nice process. It was mainly we tried to get all the branding to fit everything that we needed for the specific themes and sessions, and we changed the branding live according to what they needed.
Yeah, what do you do, Nagar? What do you do?
So what was your role on the project?
Well, I was controlling the stage. I was controlling the camera. I was kind of like here if I'm the one talking, so I would focus on myself like this and say, oh, now he's in the spotlight. And
Okay.
that would kind of engage the audience to see, yeah, that's the person who's talking right now. And other than that, we also changed all the content, like videos and logos and backgrounds and skies, and everything was done live during the show. So that's done from our side. We have like a nice little control panel where we can control everything. In a very flexible way.
Yeah.
Okay, and Miguel, what was your role in this project?
So I was the architect that designed the system on how it was technically connected, linking up the different ways of people coming into the system, the PowerPoint controls, the video playbacks, as well as how we run the whole system in the cloud. As we designed the system as a cloud solution, my design as the architect was to design it completely cloud orientated.
Okay, and Rus, what was your role?
I think my role was more on initial stages. I'm a team lead in Mimic, so it's original demo to the client and explaining to the client what kind of features we have in the system. And but once the project went into the operational stage, I had less roles and more let's say overview role to see what can go wrong, for example, in the stream, or what can need more attention and allocate the right people, I think, in the right spots along with project manager.
That's actually a nice segue to the next question. Ahmed, can you bring the next question on screen? Basically, what was the initial brief? I guess Ruslan is the person that received it. So what was the brief from the client?
I think the initial brief was to host a conference with large amount of speakers joining from all over the world. We had around 20 different countries, I believe, joining in, and to make sure that they are all having a stable connection. They have easy way of navigating themselves to the 3D stage. And in original demo, we ran 3 times, and it had a lot of fun moments when people were joining into a Zoom meeting and thinking, okay, we are in a Zoom meeting, so this is how it's going to look. And then we were taking them to the 3D stage, and they felt the difference. And this is how actually the project started. And I think the most challenging part of the process is how to make sure that all pieces actually come together into one single spot, and there is a reliability into the system, and how you get graphics for multiple people like you do in real events, and how you get people like you get people in real events to the stage. and how you actually run all these elements in the virtual world.
So how successful do you think was the delivery of the virtual event? You said that people were very excited to see the difference from Zoom to the stage. Do you think they would do it again? How do you think the success factor fits here?
I think it's definitely one of our successful streams till date. If it's not the most successful, because the scope I think was quite large from all perspectives. We had like over 14 people working on it, and it was a great success. And I think we have now the sequence of different events which will lead us into, I think, more interesting solutions online and with our cloud solution of Mimic.
Good to hear. Ahmed, I want to come back to you. Can you tell me something about the unique design decisions that you took for Expo? Something different that you made with the stage and how you approached the design overall?
So for the design, we decided to make something that's simpler. We don't want to complicate things. We want to make them nice, clean, and simple. And we had a few presets we can choose from live, so that when we had our clients, they wanted to see something, we could change it live for them, so that they have a better visualization of what they can see, what's going to actually be on stage. And we had something that's customized, so that if they don't want to have their colors of the sky, because we had a lot of different countries and we had a lot of different backdrops. Some of them were like very vibrant, and we don't want that.
Can you show us another backdrop to show us what you mean by backdrops?
Yeah, so you can show something like futuristic or something more sci-fi. You can have the different cities like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, stuff like that. And yeah, it's very flexible, and it's very quick to change at any moment. And yeah, we just decided to get the clients' files, or the clients' what they wanted to integrate was easy to integrate because of the product that we created, and it was made for quick integration with any kind of project. So it's very easy to change live.
So you could change the background. You could also adjust, for sure, some content for them in terms of presentation slides or whatnot coming behind them.
Yes, we could create. We could have them actually run their presentations live in the background while they're speaking in the panel, like we are right now. And they had their own clicker, and I think Miguel can talk more about that, where they can just simply go through their presentations from anywhere around the world, and that would be sent directly to our virtual stage.
Can you show us a video of the behind the scenes? And in the meantime, Mix, can you explain how the whole setup ran?
So in the office, we had a couple of different positions designated on the show. We had the Ventus operator, we had the audio person, we had the playback, we had the streaming engineer, we had the show caller, the people that were handling the callers coming in and out the different Zoom rooms. So that was a setup inside the office. With that, we're all connected to the cloud system solutions. So we're hosted on AWS at the moment, and all our main infrastructure was in the cloud. That's where we had the connections be made. With that, if you had a presentation, we used to send you a link that gives you a remote clicker. So you open up on your device on a web page, and then you are controlling your presentation online, and that's coming into the Mimic stage. So that's how we do the presentations.
Yeah, seems like there were a lot of people. Rus, we were talking about it before, that there's optimization that can be done there. Can you explain how many people run this and how many people could be involved in any given production for different type of virtual events?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of Miguel telling me how many people can be online running it. I mean, literally there is no limit like to the system and to the number of speakers can jump into environment, right, pretty much. But what we realized with experience, I think we had, that you cannot put more than 8 people into panel discussion, and we can integrate, I think, Zoom Zoom meetings into the system. We can integrate other different platforms like Microsoft Teams and more professional systems which can be in place to handle speakers. And I think the most important part is what's comfortable for a specific client, right? I mean, there are some clients who are using Zoom, some clients who are using Microsoft Teams, some clients who are using Blue Jeans, and a lot of other clients who are using their internal tools. And I think the flexibility of our system is in place for that, right? So each corporate environment can jump into their own virtual meetings with Mimic Stage using their own existing communication tool. And I think that flexibility allows a lot of people like to do more comfortable integrations with us. And there is no limit for the audience, and but there are a lot of things like to consider, like on the streaming side. Sometimes we stream into a public environment, sometimes we stream into closed environments, and in closed environments, I mean, it's costly, but at the same time we can reach a delay of on the feed like up to I think around like 2 seconds, 6 seconds in some cases, depends on where the audience is from. And that gives us a different level of interactivity with the audience when it comes down to Q&As, when it comes down to a polling, and for Q&A administration, for example, it allows them very quickly respond to the things. We are streaming to the public at the same time, and we are working on a lot of features on social media integration at this stage as well with our Mimic platform. And I think if we are talking about crew size, and it's very dependent on how many people are joining into the stage as speakers. It has nothing to do how many people on the audience side, pretty much, because it's just a one-way stream. And when it comes down to the segmentation of the technical team and segmentation of management team, those are pretty much two different, I think, inputs into how we produce things. On the technical side, Miguel can answer, but on managerial side, I think it's about how heavy client is in terms of discussions. So usually on the managerial side, it's a show caller, it's a project manager who needs to handle it. And in case if there is a lot of content, then it needs to be a content manager and emailers handled separately as well. So it's 4 people. When it comes to the technical team, I think it's a good person to answer that. It's going to be Miguel. I know, but I'm giving you a chance.
Yeah, on technical team. Oh, thanks, buddy. On technical team, it really does depend on what the final agenda is, because the more back-to-back sessions we have, the more multiple speakers in one session we have, the more presentations, videos, all of that depends on what the technical team can be. I can minimize it down to a good, I don't know, say 6 people, which is normally an audio, a show caller, a events director, a playback engineer, a streaming engineer, and I'm missing one, the speaker manager, is kind of the normal base for our productions. And then if we start having multi-queues, multi-sessions, where I'm having back-to-back sessions of 8 people going to an 8 people with like a 2-second turnaround, it's all possible. I just need to put more people in place just to ensure that it's a smooth process with the way we run it.
So something that Ruslan mentioned earlier that we didn't get the chance to show here is that when there's a private event, there's a possibility for polling, Q&A. I think we can show at least one of the functionalities. Ahmed, can you show the next question maybe on the screen and then bring it down just to show how things can appear on stage?
So here's how we can appear questions. We can appear them.
It's a perfect question.
Like this.
What was the biggest challenge?
I'll take that question. The biggest challenge was to make the system from a user side, easy to use. So from any point, they can just log in, get onto stage, do what they need to, and log out. So that was the biggest challenge we had, to find a solution that makes it seamless for anybody from the presenter side as well as from the user side to be able to hop in, be part of the session, hop out. And that's part of why we've chosen the solutions that we have, and we've tested multiple different streaming platforms or video conferencing platforms, and that's why we've set up with, say, Zoom, Teams, Blue Jeans. There's a few other ones that we have tested that are available to use as well, but these are the preferred ones that we have at the moment, purely for the use of getting in and out. Other one I also realized was the multi-language translation was another fun one. So we had everything translated to 6 languages. No, I'm lying, 4 languages. We had English, French, Spanish, and Arabic as our languages, and the translations were not based in the UAE. They were based all over the world. So we had a platform that we could bring anybody in from the translation side and be part of the sessions as well.
Now let's zoom back to Ahmed. What was your biggest challenge?
Well, my biggest challenge, I think getting all the content in time for the next, because we had back-to-back day 1 and day 2, and we had a lot of things to update, and we have a lot of computers to update them to. And it wasn't a big challenge, but preparing for the show is always the biggest challenge. Running it, it's we just have to be very, very alert and focused, but the preparation is always the bigger challenge. So getting everything right, making sure that everything is according to the final updates and everything is set, and making sure your control panel is always the easiest to use. And yeah,
it's very well said. Speaking of how many computers, Rus, how many computers were we running?
I think it's a Miguel's question. I think it's 42, right?
I had 47 cloud machines, and I had another 12 machines on the ground for control.
Yeah.
So now, what's next, Rus? What is next? What is happening now on the Mimic stage direction?
I think we have a lot of R&D is being done currently, and I think it's to redefine how interactive webcast is today online, and we are working a lot on how to make the broadcasts more interesting for the audience and much easier for corporations to actually jump into them and have it like kind of off the shelf. Same way you are using Zoom calls today, but to bring it up into more kind of corporate sharing and branded environment. So we pay a lot of attention on how we treat branding and graphics and how customizable it can be, but at the same time not difficult to produce and very easy to get into it. And from an audience perspective, how do you engage with content, and how do you interact in a very quick way, right, with it? And from that perspective, like administrators can easily jump in and control their online virtual environments from a security perspective, from the interactive points as well. And that's one direction. Second direction is fully technical. There are a lot of development happening on cloud computing today. We are trying to make our system serverless and scalable. And that gives us some extra advantages in among other platforms, and the reliability, of course. And on AR level, I think we are gonna go into an era of hybrid events next year, and that will bring all new wave of opportunities, and we are preparing for it as well. When we are gonna integrate the physical environments, communicate with the virtual environments at the same time. I think that's something very exciting. We are gonna start demoing, I think, in about 1.5 months from now on.
Okay, so key takeaways: preparation is always harder than the actual show, and watch the space because hybrid events are coming.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye.
thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so
All right,
much.
bye-bye.